Everyone has a dream, but bringing it to reality needs financial support. ADREAM is a new BEP20 auto-generating liquidity token that will support our community-driven platform for global financial well-being. American Dream Token. Imagine helping a village become a trade destination or opening a coffee shop in Japan. American Dream Token will bring these dreams to reality by creating wealth opportunities for every stakeholder on our platform. With Dream Swap, we are set to provide new investors with a safe place to trade their valuable crypto on a decentralized platform that has the potential to grow exponentially by bringing ever-increasing interested parties on board. DreamChart will give our token holders access to a closely knitted community that will be updated constantly to kickstart fruitful discussion while enabling you to track your coin values. With our token creation platform Dream Launch, you can now easily become a project developer and leverage Dream Invest to become an angel investor for small businesses and startups with high growth potential globally. Invest now to unlock the full potential of your dreams.
Alrighty. So it's being recorded. If there's not going to be a lot of people on, we can kind of just blaze through this, and then I can go ahead, edit it down, and get it where it needs to go. So those of you who are tuning in or listening to this afterwards, I appreciate you taking the time. We're just going to kind of run through our weekly AMA like we always do. We adjusted it from Friday to Monday because it seemed to have the most votes. As of right now, though, it has not increased participation. If anything, it's decreased it, so we may still adjust the time and day that we do this. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and get started and run from there. So the big thing that I know everybody wants to know about is our DEX development. It is a slow process, so really from last week to this week, there is no substantial movement. Like we had said before, the guy that's working on it, he kind of bit off more than he can chew. So he was like, well, I can do front-end development, but I need back-end development, et cetera, et cetera. So it has kind of increased the potential timeline of what's going on. But as of right now, things are still moving forward in the way that we are hoping to. But with coding, like, there's nothing really that we can show you that shows any substantial movement for the time being. It's just kind of a slow process. So it'll probably be about mid-February before we really have anything substantial that we can show. However, we will kind of keep you updated on a week-to-week basis from there. Moving on to our game, it is basically done. The game itself seems to be minus a couple of small things that Howler should have done today. The game itself is finalized. It's the website that we are kind of waiting to have finished so that it's playable. But this has kind of become Howler's little baby, so I will let him speak a little more on it if he is comfortable with it.
Yeah. Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
So basically, the website development is in process. We're looking at the time frame of hopefully at the end of this week, possibly the 20th of January, but I can't really give any dates because we need time to just work out the kinks of the website as well. So the game, as Joe mentioned, is basically finished. Just need to kind of add some finishing touches while the website is being developed as well. Might need to adjust it with the website as well. So it's, I'm gonna say it's like 80% done. But we are looking at release before the month ends, which should be exciting for people to basically start enjoying the arcade we worked so hard on. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
It's been like both Howler and myself, we played it a few times, so the wallet transactions are working fine. The free-to-play version is working fine. There were some small headachy bugs, like if you muted the audio and then you hit spacebar to auto-drop your blocks, it would like mute and unmute, which was a bit of a headache. All those things have been cleared up. There was a funny little glitch where if you got 3 lines in a row, it like gave you the Tetris, like, hey, good job. and it's supposed to be 4 lines. So as Howler pointed out to me earlier, I can't count because I thought it was removed altogether. So that's still there for those of you who are really good. It does allow us to look at the wallets. One thing that we've kind of noticed, though, and something that we're going to say a dozen times, if you try to exploit it in any way, shape, or form, that does immediately disqualify you. So make sure when you do play it that you follow the prompts correctly. It will automatically tell you pay 100 million ADREAM, which I think, what did that come out to, like 50 cents or something like that, Howler? It wasn't anything crazy. As our token value grows, we may adjust it because the idea isn't to have this being like a $5 game of Tetris, but a simple and fun way for us to reduce circulating supply while increasing the value of our token, as well as reward you guys. So again, your number one player of the week is going to get 30% of the pooled ADREAM sent back to them. Number two is going to get 15% and then 5%, and then the remaining 50% will be removed from circulation. So it's really just a way for you guys to potentially increase your bag of ADREAM while also decreasing circulating supply and increasing the total value of our tokens as a community. You won't be taxed on any of those transactions in or out either. So what you pay is what you pay, and what you get is what you get. There is nothing kind of hidden or messed up with that. So I'm really excited. It's right now the first game of what will be a library is Tetris, and as silly as it sounds, when you kind of sit there and you play it and you realize that you could potentially actually win some tokens, it's an absolute blast. Anybody who lives in the States, I think it's universal, but like Chuck E. Cheese and Dave and Buster's, they're fun concepts, and it's kind of like having that right there in your your living room or your office or whatever you want to call it. So it's been fun. I've been addicted. Howler will tell you I've probably played it way more than I should have. And I really look forward to seeing what comes from it. And then once it's launched and we get that going and we get it functioning, we will start working on more games. But it wasn't a big primary utility. This was just kind of a fun little side project that we rolled out with. So we don't want to put a lot of time, energy, and resources into it until we have more substantial product. That way we're not just blowing through and going from, we're promising to release this giant swap to now it's just a bunch of arcade mini games. So don't worry about that. It's not going to be our sole focus. But for the time being, it is a utility that is fun. I don't want to call it the big G word like some people might think that it is, but everybody likes gaming. Everybody gets addicted to small things, and it's just kind of a gaming way to be rewarded. So there are a lot of people from a lot of projects that will kind of see that and more or less buy in. And in the future, we do plan on trying to have partnerships with other tokens where their tokens can actually be spent on our games as well. So it can also become a source of income for the project in the long term.
Also, I'd like to add about the game itself. For the time being, it will not be operational on any mobiles, as that is actually not supported by WebGL currently. That's basically the login to pay with your tokens. So that's currently not supported, so we have to kind of throw that out for now. Also, iPhones don't support HTML games, so so once we have a bigger library, we will be making this into basically a game itself that people can use this on PC or laptop or phones or whatever they want, right? So people will be able to enter the library even from their phone in the near future. I don't have a time frame for that, but at first we currently want at least like 5 to 10 games circulating in that arcade library to actually begin work on the app itself that hosts the games. So for the time being, you are only able to play this on laptops, desktops, MacBooks, whatever you use, except for mobile phones. You might be able to access this with your Android phone, but I highly discourage that because it might be buggy, or you might lose you might lose the game in such a way that you wouldn't lose by playing on PC. So please avoid that. Also, um, we are working on connecting more wallets to this, but also this is a long process and it's a hard process to connect to be able to connect your Trust wallet or anything like that. So for the time being, it will only allow you to pay with MetaMask wallet, which is actually not so bad because you can easily import your Trust wallet into MetaMask wallet and likewise. So it's a very simple process. You don't have to transfer any of your tokens to any wallets, uh, basically, or get taxed or anything like that. Also, as Joe mentioned, 100 million ADREAM will be the entry for now, as we kind of calculated this into the amount itself, how much it costs to play. Um, there's also, as we are on a BSC chain, therefore we have to pay gas fees of BSC tokens, BSC coins tokens. So there will be a transaction gas fee basically that we did account for, but it's out of our reach to change that or anything like that. So for now, it's like this, but as long we will evolve the arcade itself when the time passes, you know. So
Yeah, it was one of those, it's not a primary utility, so we didn't want to focus a gross amount of time and resources into nailing it right out of the park and then kind of screwing our DEX development. So what we've worked on is what is kind of in the scope of our skills and our resources and kind of just contacts that we already have versus entirely outsourcing to strangers. So it's just kind of a fun little offshoot. But I am glad we're on the BSC chain and not the Ethereum network, because could you imagine paying $100 in gas fees for a 50-cent game? That would be a little ridiculous. But it will continually adapt, grow, and develop. When Howler and I first met, I mean, he came from a project that was kind of doing blockchain game concepts. So this is something that's always been in the wheelhouse. It just wasn't a primary focus. And so I am kind of excited that we are able to kind of dig in and start the concept this early. But again, to anybody who's listening, our primary focus is getting the decentralized exchange done and ready. It's just a lot of coding and then getting the website going and then mapping out how we want all the functions to work. And just it is a gross amount of hours and a gross amount of skills. So it is taking a little bit of time, but this game concept is something we can do on the side of that without it impacting the DEX development and kind of get it rolling sooner rather than later. So I'm excited for the final project or product, which really should be rolling out in the next week or two. So on that, I really don't have much else to say other than thank you guys for your increased activity. Destiny, you've kind of been killing it on Twitter, just assaulting everybody in their mother's posts about us, which has been substantial, and I really appreciate that. So as always, guys, just kind of keep it up. I know, Destiny, I've asked you for a little bit of help if you can come up with any ideas, but if any of you guys also think of things that you would like to see us actually talk and tote and promote on social media, never hesitate to send it to myself, post it in the group, etc., and I'll go ahead and I'll get it scheduled out. So the more we can do as a team, the more effective I feel like we're going to be in the long run. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. But if you guys have any questions or if there's anything else you guys want to open up and discuss, you've got my attention. So you've got Howler's attention. You've got everybody's attention. Fire away.
this still recorded?
If you have to ask, you already know. But yes, it is.
I shall wait.
Fair enough. When I know that there's no more questions, I'll go ahead and end it. I remember when these calls used to be 2 hours long. Now they're 20 minutes long. What were you going to say?
AJ asked in the group if the game was going to burn tokens. I don't think he was on for that part.
Oh, yes. So to reiterate on that, so the entry and the winner's fees. So 50% of all entry fees will actually be burned and removed from circulation. And that's the idea behind the game, is to reduce circulating supply, but also incentivize playing. So first place gets 30% of the remaining 50%. Second place gets 15%, and third place will get 5%. So 50% of all tokens entered will be burned and removed from circulation to increase total token value, and then the other 50% will be dispersed between the top 3 scores on a week-to-week basis too. So the more you play, the more chances you have of getting a high score. But also, I mean, if we can, when we see $500 in the pool, that's $250 being burned on a weekly basis, and $250 that's kind of being given away to those who are playing. So it can add up pretty fast.
Definitely. Also keep in mind that any cheating will result in a disqualification from the prize money, I guess. So don't cheat or exploit or anything like that. The game is not a AAA game, so I'm sure somebody can find ways around it, but you will get caught and your wallet will get disqualified, and associated wallets with that too. So,
well, and that's the thing. Because of the simplicity of the game, it's pretty easy to catch if you cheat. Just a basic example that I pulled on Howler earlier is I changed the price of ADREAM that I put in there. So 100 million is the required amount to play. I dropped it to 1 just for giggles to see if it would work, and it let me play, and it recorded my score. So but it shows the wallet. It's very easy. So, I mean, on a week-to-week basis, we're going to take the top 3 wallets. We're going to look and check the BSC scan to make sure that the proper amount was spent. And if they played 30 times and one time they paid 100 million and the other 29 times they paid 1, that's an automatic disqualification. So it's pretty black and white and pretty simple to actually track and chase down cheaters with the way the concept is. So that's kind of the plus side to it being a simple game as well.
yeah. So I kind of did want to make this into a way that everybody can track winners' wallets, so if they got paid or if they paid to get in. So we will be able to catch cheaters or people, changing their scores or anything like that, if that's even possible. So I have my eye on you guys.
What he means is he has his eye on me. But that's the other thing too, is like, as dev teams, I mean, we have to pay to play. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to win, but you'll see me on a week-to-week basis paying just to kind of reduce some of the circulating supply. I worked for a company once that we had these things called isms. One of them was eat your own dog food, and I fully support the concept where, if you can't get behind your product, why would anybody else? So I'm warning you now. I'm pretty darn good at Tetris. So the first couple of weeks, on the off chance,
I'm pretty good too, man.
Are you? I'm excited. I want you to kick my butt.
I'm coming for your tokens.
You better. But I will say the first couple of weeks, we are giving out a little bit more to the first place prize winner. So on the off chance that I do, or anybody on the dev team wins first place, when we're doing, what was it, Howler, is it $150 for the first 3 weeks? Is that what the little ad says?
What was that? Sorry.
In a nutshell, what I was saying is, if myself or anybody on the dev team the first couple of weeks wins first place when we have an increased prize, we will forfeit that, so it goes to the community. But afterwards, when it's just the normal 30%, well, good luck, Scooby, because I'm coming for yours too.
Shit.
Yeah. So, first 3 weeks, you're safe. And then, here I come.
Nice.
Yeah. On that note, I know you pulled out of CoinFlect, all your ADREAM, all that jazz. Have you noticed any difference? Has it been worth your while, or are you putting it back in CoinFlect? This is just more for curiosity's sake.
It hasn't really gone a whole lot
Fair enough.
more.
Well,
But whatever. I'm probably just gonna leave it out of CoinFlect for now.
fair enough. Well, on that note then, if you haven't put your tokens in CoinFlect, now would be a good time because the big holder in the pool has taken a break, which means the APR has increased.
Oh, fuck, I'm back in there already then. Shit.
There you go. But I'm pretty much out of things to say. Howler, do you have anything else, or does anybody else in the community who's on have any questions?
Well, I'm actually good. I have to attend a couple of more meetings today, so I kind of
Win
have to
Lambo?
run off. Lambo will
I don't want a Lambo.
will
I can promise you a die-cast Lambo by the end of the year. Just you, not everybody, but just you.
Fucking sweet.
But on that note, then I'm gonna wrap up the recording because I know I know girl is chomping at the bit, and and I thank you guys. So have a wonderful day. Bye.
There's no doubt about it. Everyone is talking about crypto. American Dream Token is a community-driven platform that promotes global financial well-being by empowering the community to not only be in control of their own money, but to create wealth opportunities for themselves as well as others. The American Dream Token team is dedicated to building the best decentralized ecosystem on the planet. If you have an interest in crypto, you need to visit AmericanDreamToken.com, read their dream paper, and meet their dedicated team. Also, share the link on all of your social media so your friends can join the community too. AmericanDreamToken.com.